Sometimes I even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah! Rheingold's learning, guys. It's amazing. I love it when people, like, in your case, you came from a Summer's Rift background. You come over here, start casting Dominion, and it's a, how does this work? And now sometimes you see things before I do. Chat bans, casting Ahri, Zyra, and Jarvan. Casting high mobility, good crowd control. Ahri with a taunt and a lot of magic damage. Zyra, a lot of AoE, crowd control, and Jarvan with a Jarvan.
All of a sudden, they don't actually want to start the game yet.
Yeah, they looks like they are running. They have a couple people running AFK for just a moment. Happens after a couple rounds. You got to go up. You got to refill your cup of whatever you have. Get yourself a snack. Guys, stop PMing me. I will take everyone off my friends list right now. Percent symbol. Shots fired.
Your client isn't even being streamed right now.
The audio doesn't come through?
Oh, I don't know.
The little chirping?
I don't
That makes
hear
people
the thing.
check their own
You should
league
just,
when they're watching
you
a
should just
stream.
mute your client. I just always have my client muted. Even when I'm not streaming, I just always have my client muted, and my life is like a billion better now.
Okay. There we go. That's a good point. I can turn that off, but how will I know to get game when game invites happen? I'm scared. I'm scared. Actually, no. I remember something happened with the sound the last time.
The thing
I turned
flashes.
it down.
Like, the thing will flash, so you'll see it.
Not on my TV. My TV's kind of fuzzy. It's a little older. So the yellow blinking highlight, I can't really see very well from the distance that I am away from it. So I've been relying on the audio cue for it for a little while. Gonna bring this game to you. It looks like they are ready. And the bands were Kassadin, Ahri, Zyra, and Jarvan. We'll get started in just a moment here. Sorry for the delay. We just had a couple players that had to run AFK for a second. And we have reached the... There we go. The champion select screen. And we're just waiting on everybody to connect. Little lightning bolt icons. They're so overpowered. Now this should be Cheese Enema versus Golly. And Cheese Enema banning Wukong first. Wukong, armor reduction, AoE airborne, durable character, very good to have around on your team. And then Kha'Zix, amazing assassin, very important to ban him. He's probably one of the top bans in Dominion, along with Nidalee, Kassadin, probably even Lulu, Teemo, and Wukong as well. There's a couple other ones, but I don't remember them all off the top of my head. Kha'Zix does so much damage, he either forces them out of the fight or kills them, and he's a constant threat. Don't stand near walls. We also have Annie. Has a stun, a lot of AoE damage. Overall, a really good character. Molten Shield makes her very durable. And then Elise.
Sorry, I'm finishing my sandwich.
That's okay. And then... Did you put Havarti on that one too?
It has Swiss and provolone and lettuce and oregano and onions and mayonnaise. And that's it.
Oh, that's delightful, actually.
It's amazing.
So Elise has a stun, She was a really durable character. There have been some changes made to her recently, and we don't have a lot of experience in on that yet, so we haven't yet to see her to sort of get a feel for how she's been adjusted. And Lulu being banned as well. Lulu is a fast-moving, powerful support with multiple ways to affect movement speed and health, and there's a lot of crowd control on top of that. And then Amumu also being banned. A lot of AoE damage, has a stun, but that means that Nidalee gets to the ban. Nidalee has the best poke in Dominion. She gives vision with her traps, and she gives sustain to her team with the heal. Very powerful kit for this game mode. And we'll see what they decide to pick in response to that. Jace is open. There's a possibility we may see him played. Looks like Maokai and Urgot. Maokai, extremely durable character. Urgot, long range, very safe, ranged AD carry, more durable than the other ones, cannot burst him down as easily. Terra Capacitor, if you want to run him in the bottom lane, he's very resistant to harass. He can use his shield, step out in front, do some damage, and walk back without taking a significant amount of damage to his own health. And then we're seeing Maokai as well. Maokai, who can also be a bottom laner. He has good sustain, very durable, long-range harass, 2 abilities to crowd control, 1 snare, 1 airborne. Maokai is a great kit, a little bit slow, unfortunately, but once he gets installed on a point, it's very difficult to uninstall him with a typical Windows utility. And let's see who they're going to pick over
Summoner
on the
blockers.
other side.
Summoner blockers.
Oh, there they are. Fancy Wolf and Krowig picking for Cheese Enema now. Krowig with Kale. Kale is a character whose damage gets very carried away late game. Imagine a ranged AD carry that can hit everyone on your team. That's frightening. That's what Kale can do. Kale has very good chase with a speed increase on herself and a speed reduction on enemy. And intervention is an awesome ability. It will save a lot of allies from being defeated. Typically falls a little flat when Kale uses it herself, though. I'd say 50-50 when I see Kale use Divine Intervention on herself, whether she dies anyway or actually manages to escape.
It's actually just intervention. Divine Blessing is her heal.
Right. Different video game, different invulnerability. And Jace, there is that Jace that I was talking about just a moment ago. Jace did get through the bans, and with Nidalee and Jace on their team, that's a very powerful comp already. Kale's the character that's known to eat a few bans as well. Now, at this point, Cat could be an okay pick. They don't have a lot of hard CC yet, but they could easily counterpick with any number of things. It looks like she's going to pick up Diana for the team instead. Diana, solid bottom lane character, does a lot of damage, also harass resistant because of her damage shield. And we'll see who Armor decides to secure for the team.
This team comp for Cheese Enema so far is ridiculously good. They have incredible poke. They have incredible maneuverability. Nidalee with her Cougar form and Jace with his acceleration gate. And then if they get dove, they have Kale's intervention. This is really good.
Oh dear, Trundle also being picked as well. Trundle, amazing sustain, amazing durability. Damage? Well, he does damage. He's not necessarily going to burst someone down, but he will stand and deliver long enough to kill you because he will out-sustain you. And Fancy Wolf, you should check him out on Twitch, by the way. He streams a lot, twitch.tv/SirFancyWolf. Fancy Wolf's fanciest stream. A lot of us Dominion fans like to watch him play over there, so you should check it out. He streams pretty often, too. Really cool guy. Subbing in for Sifu Calvin on Cheese Enema this week. So that's why we're not seeing Sifu over there. And that's why we're seeing Fancy, so there you go. So we have Trundle being picked up. Trundle can be very sustainable bottom lane. Get him around his Hydra, his wave clear is pretty good. Really hard to unseat from a point. And we're seeing Blitzcrank, MMKH, Blitzcrank, MMKH. This is the Blitzcrank. If you want to be afraid of someone playing Blitzcrank, MMKH is the Blitzcrank player in Dominion that I know of. I haven't seen anyone else that plays him at top levels of competition as consistently or as effectively as MMKH does. He's known for running some fight Blitzcrank. And it will be really exciting to be able to see him perform in this game with that character, because I have not been able to commentate an MMKH Blitz game in quite a long time. I think the only thing MMKH has played that I like casting that I also haven't seen is I haven't seen him run Singed in a very long time either.
So, I don't actually like the Blitzcrank pick here in terms of team composition.
Why is
Just
that?
because there's no one really on the team lineup of Golly who you want to be in the middle of your team. And there's no one on She's Enema except for Trundle that you really want to be very close to someone from Golly who you might pull on top of you.
Well, with MKH's Blitzcrank, MKH does not necessarily use his pulls to initiate fights. More often, he will roll in with Overdrive on, go into a fight like a bruiser, and then if someone tries to escape, he will bring back a weakened foe in order to be able to take him out. He won't necessarily use it to pull a full health person in, because you're right, that is very, very dangerous, especially with their team comp. But usually we see him use that to chase and to secure kills that would have otherwise escaped. It's usually where we see it happen.
Yeah, so I guess the point is, I don't think they're going to want to be forcing massive team fights because their composition...
Their poke is ridiculous. It's
their
absolutely ridiculous. AoE poke
insane.
and Nidalee's poke is just insanity. It's...
And they have the pillars
you can't set up on a point.
They have the acceleration gate for disengage, and Blitzcrank will be tanky enough that he can honestly just, like, run up and eat someone for disengage.
Now, either Trundle or Kale can go into the bottom lane. So that's an important thing to note about this. That either one of those can pull that off. Over on the other side, we are seeing Katarina. And while, sure, okay, there's not a lot of hard CC on that team. There's To the Skies, and there's Blitzcrank as an airborne stun. That's about it. Blitzcrank does have the silence as well, which will also interrupt. For the most part, Cat should be pretty safe to ult against that team, because I feel like Jace is going to hang a little bit further back. So she's going to pop the ult, and Jace will have to close in to interrupt that, and by the time he closes in, her ult's only 2 seconds now, you're not going to have the time to actually close and interrupt that. You're only going to clip a tick off of it, or less. It's not going to work out too well. However, if Blitzcrank is anywhere near Cat, MKH is going to be able to stick to her pretty well. It's going to be very position dependent how Katarina will or will not be able to use her ultimate in this environment. They have talent on the team as well. And Netherite Orc is a very good talent player. Netherite Orc, aka Netherite Man, aka Lieutenant Pancakes, aka Naked Apron Plan, aka Lieutenant Meteor Smash Icon. He likes to use his tournament RP to change his name a lot. And Nick's A7 on Diana, that means we probably are going to see Diana in the bottom lane.
That's a lot of names. I'm impressed that you remembered all of them.
Well, Mitsuru 7 is also known as Katya 7, also known as Mikaya, also known as Subcutie, also known as MewCutie, also known as Katya _ 7. There's a lot of that going on. And then Booberry from Pays of Child Support has gone by Captain Booberry, Dark Lord Booberry, and currently Sailor Moonberry. He changes them up a lot. Shoutouts to Buddha Potato, also. And Zamike, now known as Mad Supportal, cannot name change back to Zamike because High Peoples, aka Commander Peoples, has stolen Zamike's name on his Smurf and won't give it back.
Wow.
Manner up, Peoples.
Wow.
So Zamike can't name change back to Zamike because he name changed to Supportal. And then, Netherite Orc was also briefly known as Half-Hearted. Actual Half-Hearted, spelled with the L, whereas the Half-Hearted from Pays of Child Support is spelled with an I. That was really confusing for 3 days, because we couldn't tell which was which, because there was a 1 pixel of spacing difference after the L versus the I.
OP.
Yeah, man. People taking each other's names. So Half-Hearted started playing on his Smurf Haith instead, for the most part, to clear up the confusion. Then eventually... Netherite Man changed to Netherite Orc after being half-hearted. Not only do I need a timeline for when these tournaments occurred, I also need a timeline for when these guys went by different names and teams. That is going to be really interesting to see, because there's been a lot of mix and match with names and teams over the year. Almost years, guys. Remember, September 26th, next month, Dominion turns 2 years old. We have a lot of people here that stream in the community. And we have a lot of competitive players in the community. I want to put together a party for that day. I want to put together a full 24 hours minimum of Dominion on a stream for that day. If anyone's interested, talk to me. I want to see what we can do for this. We should put on a show. But we'll worry about that later. Now we are at the round of 8 screen, the launch screen for that game for the DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 68. It's going to be Cheese Enema versus Golly. Cheese Enema, Lurch playing as Nidalee, Fancy Wolf subbing in for Sifu Calvin, playing as Jace, Krog playing as Trundle, MMKH playing as Blitzcrank, and Corval, formerly Corval34, playing as Kale. I am one half of your commentators. I am Gandair, and co-commentating with me is...
I am RheingoldRiver, and the other half of your players is going to be the red side. It is Golly, Nidalee Orc on Talon, Golly himself on Maokai, Armor on Urgot, Mitsuru playing Katarina, and Nyx, probably in the bot lane, as Diana.
Shoutouts to the Christmas Baron icon, and MMKH with the Earth, the Manatee icon. I'm really glad you can see the Summoners icons now, because you used to not really notice them. It was just, if it was on your friends list, you'd see it. That was really it. Now that you actually see them.
Shoutouts to people with Vulcan icons, because Vulcan is super cool.
Vulcan is currently the most awesome team, period, followed by Curse, followed by Evil Geniuses. Those are my 3 favorite teams in order of how much I like them at this particular time. They keep exchanging where they're at on the list. Vulcan's been pretty much dominating the top of my favorites list, though. It has been for a little while. And
Yeah,
hopefully they can keep
Vulcan
up that
is super
spot.
Cool.
Yeah, actually, you've been following LCS, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I might want to pick your brain about Vulcan between this game and the next, if we have time to. Just as if we need filler, because I'm really excited about them doing. Just Vulcan's been playing great, and I want to geek out about it, but I don't know enough about that game mode. Fortunately, you know plenty about that game mode and can cover for my inadequacies. A+.
Between weeks 7 and 8, Zuna improved so much. He just stopped getting caught out in team fights, and I was super impressed. Because it used to be, Vulcan is really good, except for how Zuna always dies. But he sort of stopped dying.
And that's great, because if you die, you get a 4v5, and you probably lose that engagement. Or it forces your team to play defensive, and the other guy gets a map advantage, right?
Something like that, yeah.
See, I know exactly a little bit about Summoner's Rift. And both these teams, it looks like we're going to have Kale in the bottom lane, so that means we are going to have Trundle up at the top. We're going to take advantage of his sustain up there. Now, it is possible to see a later game switch from Kale and Trundle, because once Trundle does get that Ravenous Hydra, he can switch down to the bottom lane. His wave clear early on is not very good. Kale's is better than his, so they can put Kale down there for a little while and then swap them late game. Late game switches, we don't see too often, but they are a thing in Dominion, and they can be very powerful when used correctly. There's Clairvoyance being activated immediately. They want to see what order their enemies are arriving in. Oh, they grabbed Urgot at the top. We'll pull him in for a little bit of damage.
Talon gonna go ahead and jump in also. He gets exhausted almost immediately. He has the potion taking Jerks through the bush. MMKH, one more auto attack is needed. He finally gets the kill. Mana Barrier is popped. He's gonna go down. Lurch auto attacking from the back. Armor is still alive, but he will fall. A double kill for Nidalee. Mitsuru trying to run away. Can he get out? What is the cooldown? Javelin toss is up right now, and he hits it. Just shuns Katarina for so much. There's the shun poke. One more auto attack, and Katarina will fall. And a very convincing windmill fight for Cheese Enema.
Immediate revive from Katarina. It's going to take her a little while to get to the fight, but her team should be able to delay for quite a while. Urgot and Maokai, very tanky characters. Nidalee Orc being chased away is going to potentially be defeated by MKH's Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank's just waiting on that grab to put him down, and he gets it, lands it, and is maybe, yes, going to take him out. That potion doing a lot of work for Talon in that beginning engagement, dragging Blitzcrank away from the point as well, and no fear, MK just drives up to the top, gets the interrupt on the tower, wants to buy time for Trundle and crew in order to get back to the windmill to keep it from being captured.
Yeah, so the other side, while Blitzcrank did pick up that kill, the rest of his team sort of got slaughtered. It's pretty much inevitable because the other team just revived with full HP, and in fact, it was more HP than they started out with because of the mastery and the passive on revive, giving you that extra health. I want to say it's 2 minutes after you revive or something. It's pretty insane. But so they cleaned up the fight, but cleaning up the fight meant that Blitzcrank just had to buy time for his team to get that extra stats with the revive, and that is what happened, and they won the windmill fight.
Middle of the map, looking for some positioning. Corval floating up towards that speed shrine. Wants to know if he's going to move up to try and help his allies, or if he's going to go for a play somewhere else on the map. Looks like he's going to return to the bottom lane and clear out some of those minions. Good 4-man group moving in. Talon has to stealth in order to stay alive as the fight breaks out.
There's a grab onto Maokai. Katarina coming in to get silenced almost immediately. Has not used her ult yet. Blitzcrank needs to run away. He will be able to live, but just barely. Golly jumping onto Lurch here. Gets a knockback. A little bit of heal won't save her. And Talon is fine too. Trundle actually trying to go for a backdoor onto the drill as opposed to defending the windmill. It is Mitsuru's job to stop him from doing that. He gets the neutral, will not be able to get the capture though. And so it will be a 2.5 cap for each team.
And Jace being taken down by Urgot in the side of the map over by the refinery. Katarina can't quite outright kill Trundle. She's able to put some damage on him and force the delay. With Talon arriving, that may be able to help them out. And Netheroric not sure which way to go. Is he going to be able to get in? Yes, is in range to Cutthroat through, land the rake, and the bleed damage. Oh, the twisted advance damage from Golly instead is going to cut off Trundle.
Yeah, and so this will be a 3 cap pretty quickly here for Golly. MKH gets the pull on Urgot. The spear does not hit though. And Enema needs to get themselves into a position where they're able to get some sieging damage down because they really excel at being poking champions. And when they have all in fights, they're just going to get melted by the AoE from Talon, the AoE from Katarina. Kill actually using her ult there very preemptively, and Diana dives onto her. The exhaust has to come down. Talon is here. Can Diana pick up the kill herself? Talon comes in, gets the 1 kill. The exhaust onto him. Fancy Wolf wants the Diana. He gets exhausted though, and Nyx just able to walk out.
Oh dear, Fancy Wolf was really looking to finish off Nyx 87, but Mitsuru 7 was able to come in and clean that up. Maokai by himself, and oh dear, the damage from the poke from Nidalee, played by Lurch. Defensive Garrison twisted advance in, and oh wow, a second spear. Most of that damage was just 2 shots from Nidalee.
Yeah, so their poke is kind of godlike. And the pull does not hit onto Orc. There is a good dodge by him. Spear again not landing. They have so many crucial skill shots in this game. Corval getting ganked by Urgot here, but the hyperkinetic position reverser does come in. Kale does not have intervention, and Diana will be able to help Urgot picking up the kill. Armor steals away from himself. What a chaos.
Katarina going for the Abyssal Scepter right off the bat instead of a different pen item, using the MR reduction instead.
And Talon does die there. Katarina with the ultimate Shunko after the double kill. And MMKH is alone. The mana barrier is about to go down. Gets the knockup and
the minion!
And he will go down. MMKH valiantly trying to defend his windmill, but it was not to be.
Minion loves Katarina. Minion is best friend and was helpful in defeating that pull. He just walked in at the perfect time, said, no, that's my Katarina. You may not cuddles it. That is for me only. Jace coming down to the bottom lane, puts some damage on Nyx right away. Jace has a lot of movement speed, able to connect to the Sky's back, and the Reckoning picks her off.
So Talon is here, but it looks like they will be able to get a neutral off on the windmill, potentially. Maokai and Katarina both on their way. There's an engage onto Blitzcrank, but he gets the pull. Golly, yeah, I was going to say, Golly is not really tanky enough to do that. And the entire time, Blitzcrank and Italy, they're just running interference for Trundle, and so they will be able to get the neutral and the cap here. Diana max range ult there onto Jace and Armor with the double kill. Windmill does go over to Enema, but Golly is going to be able to get the neutral on the bot.
Ooh, good grab from Blitzcrank, paired up with the slow from Krog with the pillar as well. A lot of damage on Armor, and Trundle's going to get the shutdown on Urgot. Urgot finally being defeated, taking only his second death of the game. And Trundle taking a bite out of an alien, or whatever it is that Diana is. I think she's just a human from some tribe. She's from the moon, guys. That makes her an alien. That's right.
She's actually from the sun. She's from the sun tribe. Leona's tribe worships the sun, and Diana discovers a scroll somewhere where it says, hey, you can worship the moon also, and she wants to worship both of them. Jarvan's like, no, you can't do that. And so then she like goes rogue or something.
Nyx in the bottom lane being ganked. That's what you get for liking the moon. Diana, you get out. It is daytime. Mitsuru doing a little bit of damage here as well. And the ultimate, nope, canceled by Fancy Wolf. Exhausted, she has to retreat, is taken down by Jace. They turn their attention to Armor. There's an exhaust on him, and they are able to finish him off before it wears out. But the dot damage is going to be enough to take him out.
The rake missed, so he had to use the ult, but that was okay. He wanted to use the ult anyway. MKH gets the pull and the kill, and they might be able to complete their quest objective, but Nyx is back here with Mitsuru, and the moon is strong enough to interrupt that capture. Katarina comes in. There is the Sinister steal her W. Okay, kill up the kill. Actually, Diana takes it. And they'll be able to save their point.
Everyone know about Fight Blitzcrank? Take a look at that. Grez's Spectral Lantern, Merc Treads, Tear of the Goddess, and Glacial Shroud on Blitzcrank. I'm actually surprised he hasn't gone for a Brutalizer yet. But we will see. Moving around to the middle of the map, MKH is going to go for that center relic, and Katarina shunpoing to the relic, because you can do that for some reason. Grab does not connect.
You can do that.
Yes, in Dominion you can Iron Will, Leap Strike, shunpo to the relics and towers. Golly with the ultimate activated, and Fancy Wolf being pulled back, realizes that, tries to escape out the opposite direction, not able to do so. Corval coming up from the back, but Nyx blowing him up immediately as he gets close to the fight. Using that intervention, is able to help secure a kill on Katarina. They unload on Armor as well. Nyx still alive. Golly back from the summoner platform with the revive, and looks like he may be able to stop the push off at the top if he moves in that direction, which is where he's going.
That fight was just the HP bars from Golly just barely couldn't survive, and with all of that AoE on both sides, these Enema were able to pick up the fight because they took just barely not too much AoE damage. There you go. But Golly
got Trundle.
Why Trundle? Why, I think, is the correct thing to say here. And wow!
The Sap Magic!
The Sap Magic saving his life there with that last auto attack. The spears coming in from Nidalee. Knight Orc trying to get away, will not be able to, and the shutdown comes onto MMKH.
Sap Magic is a very good ability. That's one of the keys to bottom lane Maokai, is using that sustain. We saw that in that top lane, keeping him just narrowly alive. Good sapling, able to finish off Trundle as well. Very surprised that he was able to pull that off, because he did have his Maelstrom down, had to back away, but with the tower there, additionally, it was useful. Blitzcrank moving down towards the bottom part of the map. Overdrive active, going to tap that Speed Shrine as well, moving down to take out Diana. Let's see if they're going to be successful.
And he comes onto the point. Maokai with the Twisted Advance puts the Vengeful Maelstrom down. The most giantest intervention ever comes down. And he actually gets the pull onto Nyx. Nyx with a little bit of shield. Looks like Nyx will be able to survive. On the other side of the map, though, is, I think, the more interesting fight. Katarina with 2 kills so far can get the kill onto Nidalee. Urgot picks that up, and they save the windmill. Diana now going back in, has regen just a little bit from the relic. MKH running away, has backup from his team. Just going to pick up a little bit of speed there.
Shot over the wall from Fancy Wolf does do some damage. There is the click reveal as well, in case anyone goes into the bushes. Jace able to pick up the shutdown on Diana. Fancy Wolf stalking Golly away. Golly does not have any mana. There's the CV as well to negate any vision that could happen with those bushes. And pressing on towards the tower, does have enough time to secure this point and get the quest objective for the team. You can give them that 10% increased damage. Kralliger on the other side of the map has to defend against 3 people, not able to do so. Unfortunately, Kale on her way there. Is she going to be able to bail out the tower?
I don't think she's going to be able to. Looks like she is going to try. Gets the quest objective there. Nidalee coming in with the Javelin toss. Katarina is just going to pick up the tower. The exhaust comes down. Nidalee getting exhausted too. Talon can't quite survive. Urgot actually pulled into the summoning platform, and they do pick up the tower, but they lose 3 for it, or lose 2 for it. Nyx is going to be able to get the Boneyard back, and it will be once again a recap for Golly.
Golly has been doing a very good job this game against Cheese Enema. Golly, a relatively new team. It's a team of experienced Dominion players. They haven't necessarily been playing with each other for very long, but they've been doing a very good job these last couple of tournaments. Armor retreating, interrupted by Trundle. Airborne Forge troubles as well, taking a lot of damage, but Urgot is very difficult to kill. He's a very tanky, ranged AD character, and we're really seeing that in this team fight.
Mitsuru actually gets Talon to be grabbed instead, but Talon is A-okay with that. Does he have his ultimate? I heard a Ghost Blade there, but he wasn't able to do too much, and it's a 3-for-0 there. Mitsuru now caught out by MMKH, gonna jump in, but Nidalee with the shutdown. OP Javelin toss.
Nidalee with the spear, bottom lane, Corval and Nyx having a little bit of disagreement. Corval definitely has the upper hand, needs to get in range to land a Reckoning. Can't see her, vision denied, moves around the corner, is in range now maybe? No, not quite, has the shield active. Corval really wants to kick her out, kiting him towards Katarina. Corval sees that and says, no, she has way too many knives, I don't want to get near that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good call. Katarina's a little bit kind of really scary, to some extent. So,
when you don't have a crowd control, like Kale, who does not, you want to be afraid of that ultimate from her, because you aren't going to be able to interrupt it. So you have to watch out for that. And it looks like they're sending armor down to the bottom lane. This could be a switch. I don't think like it would be, because I feel like they want Urgot's range damage up at the top part of the map.
So MMK tried to pull Golly there, but Golly was actually twisted advancing, so the hook did not land. They do have 2 bot right now onto Fancy Wolf, get the shutdown onto him, and his revive is not available. So they will be able to start the cap here, but Corval saw that happening, started on his way already. Reckoning will interrupt one cast, and there's the E for the other one. Hyperkinetic position reverser comes down, sending him away from the well, and Nyx is just taking so much power, it can't quite take that much on the other side. There's the Shadow Assault from Talon. Katarina getting pulled there. Ro8 comes across. Talon, can you live? There is just so much damage. And no, the Nidalee Spear is enough. Can the bleed take it? Katarina gets it with a Shunpo, and that kill gave her another Shunpo, but no, cannot quite survive Lurch with that kill. Double kill for Nidalee. Armor was able to recap bottom point. What is that point called?
The bottom left one is the boneyard. No, the bottom left one is the quarry. The bottom right is the boneyard. The drill is over there. You can't see where I'm pointing, but
okay.
Yeah, Jace right now is retaking the quarry, and Katarina is swinging by the bottom point, swinging by the boneyard to make sure that no one tries to push that.
And there's the drill going back to Golly. But Cheese Enema completely in control of the game right now. They are behind in Nexus health because there was a 3 cap for Golly for so very long. But they have more members on the map right now, and they hold the 3 cap. So Golly has to make sure that they group before they do something, because otherwise they will get caught out, because there are just fewer of them on the map at the moment.
Down in the bottom lane, Jace and Diana. Diana is moving up towards the top, so it looks like they're going to stick Urgot down the bottom lane for a little while longer. Trying to take a bite out of Nyx. The grab pulling Diana in, and Diana gets shut down very, very quickly in that engagement.
And AoE ult after AoE ult. Double kill for Trundle, but Mitsuru actually getting grabbed back in, and triple kill for Trundle, managed to get the kill onto Katarina. The moonfall from Diana. Actually, the Q, Crescent Strike from Diana picked up that kill, but Crag with a quadra kill.
And there's no one alive. Well, no, Golly and Talon will be alive in just a moment, so they will be able to defend the drill. Trundle cannot make a push for that at the moment.
So, overall, that fight was actually really bad for Cheese Enema, because its bot got the time to tap the bot.
And it is going to get turned around pretty soon here. Trundle has some health, not full though, unfortunately, like he'd want to be, especially against Maokai at this top part of the map, because Maokai can sustain for a while. There's the defensive garrison just buying time. Twisted advance over the wall. Golly gets tangled up with Krauog, and Lurch taking a lot of damage from Netherite Orc's Talon. Fancy zoning with that acceleration gate, and the damage that he was able to put on Talon just there.
That was crazy. MMKH has come up, gets the grab onto Mitsuru. His Blitzcrank is really, really good.
Let's keep an eye on Fancy Wolf. He is getting towards blat status, guys. We might be able to see one of those plays this game, and if that happens, you guys in the Twitch chat know exactly what to do if we see that triple shot crit. Corval in the bottom lane using the intervention to swing away at Nyx 87. Love the sound effects on that Aether Wing Kale, but it looks like Nyx has the upper hand in this engagement. Corval circling around now. Oh, there's the vision and the reckoning, and that extra reckoning chip damage might be all Kale needed.
That pillar was just a little bit of an assist there. Top lane nearly picks up another kill. I'm a little bit surprised Nidalee was left open, not gonna lie. She was really good. Wow! So Jace was just completely exploded by Katarina. I don't know if you saw that.
I did, and it's very unfortunate. Jace not a lot of durability in his build at the moment. He has a little bit of armor from the Grezes, but it's mostly just damage.
And that was like a 100 range spear that picked up the kill on Urgot there, already doing a lot of damage. The Athene's Unholy Grail has the Void Staff, has the Hextech Sweeper. In addition to Circuses, it's a lot of ability power and penetration on Nidalee. Sitting at 227 ability power and a good amount of magic pen, so those spears, they're hurting a lot.
And Corval and Fancy Wolf chasing away Nyx. Jace picking up the KB was a 550 crit, 560, something like that. It only appeared for a little while. Didn't get too long to read it, but it was a 5-digit number. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. It was a 4-digit number. No, it was not. It started with a 5, guys. That's what I'm getting at.
Wow, okay. So was it 5?
Sure.
But there is a fight in top lane. Armor survives for an incredibly long time there. Nidalee does get dropped, and Mitsuru with the last kill onto MMKH there. Talon trying to zone Trundle as much as he can, but talking about champions with very squishy builds, Netta Rare Orc, also with an incredibly squishy Talon build. We've seen him just get absolutely melted in fights, and he just doesn't want to be too close to Trundle, but the windmill does finally go back to Why Golly Why. Let's see if they can actually hold on to it this time.
Corval and Nyx 87 exchanging damage in the bottom lane. Damage on Nyx. Corval retreating for the health relic at the top. Golly's Maokai is going to be able to defend against this. He has Netherrare Orc here to help him out, and that's going to be a lot of damage for the team. Fancy Wolf coming in from the back. Fancy Wolf really wants to connect with Netherrare Orc's Talon in that engagement. Armor chasing MKH away, gets grabbed for his troubles. There's really no follow-up to the grab, unfortunately. Lurch has good poke, but sustained damage not so much coming from that particular champion.
Katarina with the shutdown there. Golly barely not diving to that spear. Nidalee is strong, just not quite that strong. Has the Seeker's Arm Guard, so we'll be building into that Wooglet's Witch Cap, I believe.
And
no,
oh dear.
No.
Mitsuru, free trip back to the summoner platform. Armor's Urgot is going to try and defend this top point, but Jace, a lot of damage from Jace. Lurch picking up the kill in the top. That is going to enable them to secure that point. Diana is recovering the Boneyard for her team, and Blitzcrank is going to stop Netherrare Orc from taking away the quarry.
Golly now engaging onto MMKH, and this is actually just going to allow Talon to start capping. And Maokai, you can see he's doing a really good job of
body block.
Yeah, exactly. He was body blocking, we see there, from hitting Talon to give Talon a little bit of time to try and cap. But Golly now is getting a little bit low. Nyx is here. And it looks like Crag just going to disengage a little bit. Motion now onto the windmill here from 2. Maokai did have to go back to base.
If MKH can connect, Fancy Wolf's Jace can follow up with a lot of damage. And there's the grab. There's the shot from Jace, and they take him down.
Talon wants to come in and defend just a little bit. There is the Shadow Assault actually just melts through Fancy Wolf. I did not expect it to be quite that effective. The move speed from both champions here. Can Talon get away? Juke out of the bush, the rake, but it's not quite enough. MMKH was too smart for that. Saw it coming and just A-clicked. Golly really wants to stop him from getting that relic. Will not be able to do so. And 3 caps still right now. Fortie's Enema. Nexus health getting dangerously low. It's losing 2 per second right now. And I don't know. They have to take the drill back. And they have to take another capture point in the next, 5 seconds. I think they're going to be able to.
They just need a couple seconds delay up top. All Kelly needs to do is hit Katarina, and nope, chase her away just by nature of being there. And that means Cheese Enema is going to advance on to the round of 4.
So Cheese Enema there, great game. They fell behind in the capture points a couple times, but their poke composition was just absolutely terror. The shock blast from Jace, the Qs from Nidalee, just melting through all the HP. And yeah, they didn't have many ways of stopping Katarina, but they could kill Katarina. And so they just sort of killed her and had a great game.
Take a look at the launcher really quick. Take a look at those final items built and take a look at the graphs really quickly before we go and dig up a round of 4 game for you guys. Take a look at damage dealt to champions. Jace out in front with 42k, only about 3k ahead of the next closest, it looks like. Yeah. And let's see who the graveyard hero for that game was. It is going to be Talon. Alright, we will bring you a round of 4 game in just a moment. Looks like it's going to be Clueless versus Cheese Enema. So this should be a very good match coming up next. Clueless, the team that won the LoL Pro Dominion Showdown last weekend. So we'll bring that game to you in just a few moments.